And I go live. Preparing to live stream. The last stop. 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Broadcasting.
Yes, we are.
We are broadcasted. And there's the Zoom meeting. I got it. Gonna pop this chat out here. Popping out. What is going on, fellas? Good evening, Crouchster. He's the first one up in the list. Skidoo. I don't know why his got this. Something's not loading over here. Can you obviously you guys can hear and see me, right? Because my feed is something's goofy. I'm assuming can you guys see me?
Yes.
Can you guys see everything good? All right, because it must just be on my end then. I
You're
got
a
the
little
wheel.
blurry.
Yeah, okay. What is up, y'all? What is going on? Welcome back. We got everything ready to go. We have some things we're going to talk about tonight, especially what you're seeing down here on DS's screen. Don't look good. DS crash. We're going to talk about that and these hacks. By golly, I don't know what is going on out there, but man, we are seeing some wacky stuff. Let's see who we got. Fred Young, Firewood. Fred here. What's up, buddy? Grandpa Vince. Brian, what up? What up? Yes, it's glitchy. I don't know. Does it seem like it's still glitchy? No, I think it's cleared up. Definitely weird. Jub, what is up? 50. Mr. Hunt, I presume. Brian, see you in a little while. I want to talk about the shorts, but before we get into everything, I guess we got to talk about DS's fiasco he's got going on here. I got bombarded with a whole bunch of texts and pictures early this evening, and I think DS is going to have to break it down for us.
Guys,
not good. Not
can
good.
you hear me? How's my audio?
You good?
It's been a crazy week. And it's only what freaking Wednesday?
It's freaking Wednesday.
Look at the truck. You can see it in the background here. It got jacked up. But for everything that happened in 1 week, number one, I hired a new guy. And I've been putting the word out for this guy, for someone to work. And I put the wage a little bit higher for the area, $26 an hour. Like, I need somebody. Guy comes in, he's horrible. He's ruining lawns. But I noticed something about him. He was scratching his arms. He's doing this. And I'm like, I didn't think nothing of it. You know, he said, oh, I got diabetes or something. I'm like, can you cut the grass? The guy couldn't. He's ruining lawns. He's scalp daddy. So I sent a text to my other guy. I said, hey, looks like you're coming back to work. Whatever we had a disagreement about, I guess I'm over it. I'll see you tomorrow. The guy's like, cool, I'll see you tomorrow. They work together for like one house. They get into an argument. The other guy gives me an ultimatum that, the new guy wants me to fire the other guy, but that doesn't make any sense because he can't even do the job. So the guy quit, whatever, no big deal. Well, the next day I'm scratching my arm. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I'm thinking, man, these mosquitoes this year, these mosquitoes are really bad. Like, I've never had so many. The next thing you know, I'm freaking scratching my leg, my other leg. I'm like, man, these mosquitoes are tearing me up. Every single night, I go outside, I come in the house, and I got 10, 15 mosquito bites. Finally, I freaking go, like, there's no way I have 50 mosquito bites. There's something adding up. Like, this ain't right.
Something ain't adding up.
So then I'm starting to research, like, I got mosquito bites in places where you never should have a mosquito bite. There's no way they can get there. So I'm thinking like, what the heck's going on? So I start thinking that guy kept scratching himself. Maybe something wasn't right with him. So I'm looking for bed bugs. I'm looking for all this stuff. I can't find nothing. I'm looking for fleas. I can't find nothing. So I call a friend. He goes, man, that sounds like scabies. I go, what? I never even heard of that before. He goes, yeah, man, that's scabies. I had it once. There's a cream. I'm like, wait a second. Bro, that night I get in bed, I look down like 50 freaking things on me. I'm like, oh my God, it's scabies. So this week starts
Oh,
off. This
dog,
freaking guy comes in, works. He's
dog.
horrible. He sits in my truck. He stinks, and he gives me scabies. So then I've been battling these freaking scabies. I finally got rid of them by just turning on the hot water tank all the way to the highest setting and just getting in the tub and burning my skin a little, but burning also in the process all the scabies. I'm still waiting on some cream, but I think I got most of them. So that's kind of gotten better. But then today I'm tearing down the garage, throwing it in a dump trailer, whatever. And I'm on my way home and driving down Jefferson. It's a freaking 4-lane road. It's just like kind of like a highway, but it goes from like 45 down to like 35, but it's very few stops. So it's kind of like the quickest way. So I can get on the freeway and I'm just driving along. And guys, when I drive my 450, I get into a mode. My wife, she got on me the other day. She started laughing at me because of the way I drive. I zero in on the road. I put two
Race
hands on the
car
wheel,
mode.
2 hands on the wheel. I tuck my head just like this. I'm wearing a hat and I'm looking right through the brim of the hat. And
He
I
got peripherals on.
stare.
He ain't looking at nothing
Yep.
else.
I stare in front of me, laser straight. I don't take my eyes off the road. I'm looking at every freaking obstacle, every freaking every danger, whatever that's in front of me, every hazard in front of me. I'm just looking. I'm just looking at it. I'm driving. I look at my speedometer. I'm going at 35 miles an hour. Perfect speed. Not 1 mile under, not 1 mile over. I see the green light. Got a stale green light up ahead. That means I can turn yellow. Keeping my speed right at 35. Eyes on the light. Eyes on the traffic up ahead of me. There's a lady. She's got her left blinker, but I've got the right of way. Maintaining 35 miles an hour. Just when I don't have enough time to stop, she turns and darts out in front of me. I slam the brakes the whole time. The whole thing happens in slow motion. She makes that left. I slam the brakes and I say, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I can just see it. I can just see it all happening. Like, damn. I'm looking right at it. It's all happening in slow motion. Slam in the brakes and freaking hit this lady in her door. And I get out of the car and I get out of my truck. I look at the truck. I say, oh shit, look at my truck. And then I'm thinking, oh, I'm being selfish. I'm looking at my truck and this poor lady just got smoked. So I was like, thinking like, what are you doing, lady? And I'm thinking, wait, she didn't get out. So she all right? I'm asking the other guy who pulled over. I'm like, she all right? He's like, oh my God, she's not okay. Call 911 right now. And then I'm like, okay. But his car phone's on 911 and the operator is like on his Bluetooth. And he's like, where are you at? Where are you at? And he's not even telling the freaking operator where we are. So I go into the guy's car and say, hey, we're on Jefferson, whatever street. And the guy goes, okay, I'm on my way. Police EMS and stuff. I look into this Charger, little black Charger. This lady is not sitting in her seat no more. This lady is freaking laying on the center console. Her head is down into the wheel well on the passenger side footwell. She ain't moving. I'm like, hey, you all right? She wasn't.
Hey, you all right?
She she didn't say nothing back. So I was like, yeah, the woman's unresponsive, whatever. And then after a couple minutes, she was just like, the freaking EMS came and she started to come around a little bit. And I was like, well, shit, is she all right? And they were like, she probably is okay. The EMS would have left if she wasn't okay. So that's the only thing I can say about her is like the EMS didn't leave. They said if the EMS would have rushed to the hospital, then she probably would have been critical, but maybe she's stable. I haven't heard anything from that. But yeah, just like that.
What happened? What's the deal with the 450? What kind of state did you leave it in? Is it even
Ah,
drivable with what it's looking like?
no.
So
The
you had to
freaking,
get that thing towed.
so everything had to get towed. The dump trailer was
Uh,
loaded.
uh, uh.
He freaking hooked it up. Now looking back, like the tow company, uh, I don't know. You know what I mean? How I feel about that. Because I had my sunroof open and the freaking truck was leaking coolant and they didn't want to hoist it because truck by itself is 10,000 pounds. And they drove it up the thing, but the whole time is pissing coolant. And I'm like, come on, turn it off. Turn off the truck. Pissing coolant. And he drove it up, whatever. Turners probably didn't do nothing because it was only a
No,
short period.
that'd be all right.
And yeah, it'd probably be all right. But still, like, come on, what are you doing? So I go to the tow yard to get my stuff out of the truck, and I'm like, hey, the sunroof is still open. It's like they made an attempt to close the sunroof, and then like they opened the door before it closed all the way, and it's still like this big of a gap where the sunroof didn't close. I'm like, hey, close the sunroof. Like, it's bad enough the freaking truck got hit, and if it's fixable, can we at least not get rain inside the truck too? So close it. He's like, oh yeah. And then like, I don't know, I'm OCD about my stuff, and I'm like wrapping chains all around my trailer tongue. Like my trailer is in nice shape. Don't be wrapping chains around it like that. But whatever, not that big a deal. So I got to go pick up the trailer tomorrow morning and deal with that. And I'm going to tell him that I want to just take it to Bill Brown to get it fixed. I mean, it is what it is. I'd rather go there to get it done. So, but yeah, what a crazy week. People getting hired,
Yeah.
fired every 2 seconds. The freaking kids been sick. I've been taking them to cut grass with me inside of my 450. And that's why the truck is so nice. It's like, yeah, I don't get upset. I'm fine about the truck. But, now I just got one vehicle, well, one work vehicle, and I'm going to have to drive it and work out of it. But it's nice to have that truck. I mean, I can take my kids to work and turn on the air. And I know you guys probably don't agree with letting the truck run all day, but one of the kids got sick and had to get out of daycare. I let the truck run all day with the air blasted, and I continue to work. So it's kind of, nice to have, but I guess it'll be, up to the insurance and all that. And I mean, it could be frame damage or something like that. But I think with the truck and the shortages and the value of the truck, it's only got 20,000 miles. I can't really see it getting totaled.
No, I hope that frame didn't get smucked hard enough that they're not going to be able to. I don't know. It looks like maybe more on the outside.
Yeah,
I've
I mean,
seen worse get fixed.
the plow mount took a hit there, and that's pretty much bolted to the frame. And then
That's custom right there. You mean to tell me that? Come on.
I know, dude, that's all our hard work that we did.
That's custom.
The tow hooks look to be in the same position, but I mean, this lady got hit with the toe hooks. But I say this too, I didn't feel much. I didn't feel nothing at the time. Now I feel like something kind of happened. Like my elbow's a little sore. My body feels a little bit in shock. But I really didn't, in the moment, I didn't feel a thing.
A couple guys are making mention. Hey, did they fault you? Is she gonna blame you? Just do majority bodily damage? Like, what wound up happening?
Her body is very damaged, so she could try to. I don't know if she will or won't, but
Freaking freight train.
There was a ton of witnesses there. Not to mention that I was towing a dump trailer and it was loaded with probably like 2,500 pounds or so worth of material. The trailer itself weighs like 5,000 pounds or 4,000 pounds or something by itself. So it's some weight. It's a significant amount of weight. So that definitely affected how much momentum I would hit her with. So yeah, you could expect for her to feel more inside of her car. But the got thing, an F450 by itself weighs in excess of like 9,500 pounds, maybe a little more than that, getting close to 10,000 pounds. That's a lot of mass hitting a car. Cody,
yeah.
I think he mentioned like, good thing it wasn't a semi. You pretty much need like a bigger commercial vehicle to hit a 450. Like, it's a lot of mass. And I honestly, it's like, this is something that I put my family in and put my kids in and all that. And like, after having this happen, I know diesel prices are high. I know the trucks are getting more expensive, but for this, I don't know. Am I wrong in thinking this is a safer vehicle than maybe some other vehicles and some situations?
That's a good point.
Situations.
That's a good point. I've heard a lot of people, even what's up, Bill Beckett, even on Facebook, showing pictures of rollover accidents or accidents that their kids were in. My daughter had my Super Duty and walked away with pretty extensive damage. I would definitely think that it would be safe to say it is one you deal with the high fuel prices or negate safety.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I definitely need to step my game up on is the camera, the dash camera, which I didn't have. And if I would have had that, that would have been good because it could have been he said, she said, she said.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody there was a ton of witnesses. Everyone's like, you had a green light, you had the right of way. And the police were there. They took statements. So far, I didn't get the blame. When she wakes up from her whatever she wasn't responsive at the time, and when she comes around, will she try to say that I was running a yellow light, or I wasn't even running a yellow light, but will she try to say that I was running a red light, which wouldn't make any sense. I can't really, the way she was turning and the way the impact was, it's a hard, you know what I mean? It's a hard argument to make for it to be my fault. Just because, even if it was a red light, she would have had a red light too. And she wouldn't technically be able to go unless she was already pulled out. So it's,
Wow.
I think it'd be a hard one for it to be at my fault either way. I did check my GPS that I have in my truck.
That's what some guy just asked.
Yeah, I just checked that, and it shows that I was going exactly the speed limit that for that road. I wasn't going at set speed. Shows the time of collision and all that, rapid deceleration. So I'm glad that I had that. It's just there's so many things going on, and like so many things in my head that the dash camera is one of those things where I was really slipping. So I know, like right now, it's like I need to get that in all my trucks because something like this can happen, and it can be he said, she said, or it can be like everyone decides that they want to make it your fault, and this is all based on eyewitness. You know what I mean? It's all eyewitness. So I'm gonna step up my game and get that camera because the way that I drive, guys, when I'm in this truck, it's like laser focus on the road. It's just all road. It is what it is. It's a big truck, and especially when I'm
Take the
towing.
signage off the truck. That's what somebody said.
Well, it's too late now, and I do have it insured for that. I have for the business. I have all the business insurance, commercial class insurance, and all that stuff. So I don't think that I have to, but I know if it were insured under like a personal policy, then yeah. But all my policy is all commercial grade policy, and then all of the trailers now are also under the policy as well. So I think, hopefully I'm okay. I don't know. There's the thing, and you never know until I actually talk to the insurance company tomorrow. Who knows? I pay a chunk. I pay a chunk of money for that freaking insurance. It's not cheap. It's quite expensive. So hopefully that rate doesn't go up.
You're dealing with insurance. I'm dealing with insurance. Ford bossed me. He's got to deal with insurance. Just pretty pennied, hand plucked. I don't know. Is this a garage fine? This is a unscathed Panther. That is pretty badass. Obviously, an older person's vehicle goes hand in hand. Interior is going to be G, very low mileage, garage kept, and Ford Boss has got pretty sweet ride. I don't know. Are you going to do anything to it, or are you just going to leave it bone stizock? What are you going to do?
I thought I would get more people saying leave it stock, don't touch it, because it's only a 27,000 mile Mercury Grand Marquis LS. So just leave it alone. But a lot of people are like, if it would have been the town car, that would have been one thing to leave it stock, because those are luxurious cars from the get-go from back but the Mercury Grand Marquis do look pretty sweet, lowered a little bit with some like GT 500 rims or something on it, and just the basic exhaust. I'm thinking to myself, this thing's got 26,444 miles on it. Why even touch it? Why not just restore it to factory condition and just leave it alone the way it is?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, in theory, I mean, what could you do? Just
I mean,
power wise. I mean, the looks, I think the looks of it should be left alone, man.
Yeah, the looks are already there. It's just very, very minimal. A lot of people are saying because now you don't have to worry about airbags, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Do you understand the potential of that car with just a basic LSD and just a gear swap upgrade? And they make drop spindle, or they make full ADTR.net makes full kits for that car. Like the whole suspension can be going through, and that car could really be a completely different car with the billet, trailing arms and all. They're not called trailing arms; they're called something else, but I just call them trailing arms. There's quite a bit of things you could upgrade to a 31 spline Cobra style axle set or something like strange axles or something in it. There's a lot you can do, especially with that engine only having 26,000 miles. It can handle quite a bit of boost at that mileage, and you can run it out for quite a while before having to pull it all off of there before the engine starts to wear. So there's a lot of stuff you can do, but it's at this point, I'm thinking to myself, the car private party would sell for between $11,000 and $13,000 in today's market. And guys are snagging them up, garage finds, barn finds, whatever you want to call them, for between 4,500 and $7,000. But if you hold out, people are snagging them up all the time, $10,000, $11,000, $12,000. Guys are driving out of state to buy the ones from us at the dealership for like, a dude came from Kentucky and we had a 45,000 mile Crown Vic, and the Sleepy Hollow Police Department had traded it in for an Explorer SUV, and they got rid of the one, I think it was the captain's vehicle or something like that. And a dude drove from Kentucky and paid 10.5 cash. It just didn't even ask any questions, just paid 10.5 cash. Now mine is nicer than that, more luxurious than that, has the fog lights and all the other stuff the other Grand Marquis guys wanted but didn't have. Can't find the wiring harnesses for the fog lights and stuff. Well, this car is complete with all that. So with that being said, maybe I don't touch it. Maybe I leave it the way it is.
Well, let
I
me
think
ask you
should
this.
Leave it the way it is.
Let me ask you this though. Is there any value in with your following with this car, with you doing anything to this car? Does your following, does it kind of vibe with your viewers?
It does. I think a lot of people wanted to see a vehicle where I went all out and just modded it like crazy to see what I could get out of one of these. And then there are other people out there that are the purists that they don't want you to touch it. They want to see you find a garage find like this, that the seats have to be gone, like they had a dog and the dog would be in the back seats all the time and they're stained. So the leather, they want to see the now as it's dirty. The outside is everything's, immaculate. Underneath is immaculate for the most part. But they want to see what can you do from that state you found it in that's been sitting in a garage for the last 4 years and get the staining out of the leather, get the staining and stuff out of the carpet. What can you do to make sure that that vehicle in this instant is brought back to factory condition with just the minimal amount of effort? And there's a lot of people that are in that campaign in that corner that want to see that without the modifications.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the place to start, and then see how you feel after you get, up to the factory, condition. Then
Everything in it work.
Everything.
ATC, everything.
I backed out. Oh, so here's a little bit of the story. I've known about this car for about a year, and the guy's been telling me, look, we're going to get around to getting the paperwork done. We're just tired of seeing mom's car. Nobody that appreciates it is putting it to use or putting any kind of time into it. We've grown apart. We don't want to see it go, but at the same time, we're not going to appreciate it like you would. So I'm going to get my wife on the paperwork to get everything done. We don't know where the title is. And then I ask him another month, and then another month, and then another month. And then, she hasn't got around to it yet. She hasn't got around to it yet. Well, then 2 months ago, he's like, look, everything's going through. And then all of a sudden, bam, Ari, we're ready to sell it. And I'm like, I don't want to rob you guys and tell you it's a $2,000 car, because it's not. I mean, this car with you yourself, the gentleman selling the car, you could put $500 into this car the way it sits right now with a little bit of effort on your part and sell this thing private party within the next few weeks for $8,000 to $10,000 easy. But because I'm going to have to put my time into fixing a few chewed wires and spend $200 or $300 in cleaning material and stuff like that, and then I'm going to probably put $1,000 in tires on it because I want it to run in tip top, really good shape with like a nice set of Michelins or something or whatever it may be. I'm only going to offer you 45. I just cut right to the punch. I was like, look, let's talk money. This is what I'm going to offer. And then she was like, oh, wow. Yeah, that came out quick. Okay, I accept.
Well, she was willing to do it for 2,000?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he knew that I was not going to do that to them. He knew that I was not going to be that kind of guy to lowball them that much. And I said, look, guys are finding them with about 40, 50, 60,000 miles right now, still for that $5,000, $6,000 range. You can sit on it for a few more weeks, or you can take into consideration, I'm going to be the guy owning it and I'm going to offer you 45, and we'll just have to settle at that. And she was like, okay, fine. As long as you have it, I'm okay with that. As long as you're the one, because we know you know the Panthers and we're going to see it on your channel all the time.
Heck
And
yeah.
it's going to make us happy that you're taking care of it. Let's go. But here's something I thought about. How cool would it be? I haven't run the vehicle yet. I ran it at the house, backed it out, turned the AC on. The AC worked immediately, still full charge,
Awesome.
everything good. Drove it straight to the house an hour and shut it back off. I started it this morning a little bit. The battery's from 11 of 14.
Wow.
It still looks brand new, like it was just put in there. It's
That's
from
awesome.
11. It's from 11 of 14. I thought to myself, this oil has been sitting in this vehicle for 4 years, and it was just changed before the lady passed away. And it's crystal clean. The engine inside is crystal clean. How cool would it be if I took that oil sample and sent it off to Blackstone Labs to see?
Just to see?
Just
That
to
would be
see.
freaking sick, dude. That'd be
Do
cool.
it. This oil's been sitting for 4 years. Let's see
Wow.
what type of shelf life it still has.
Do it.
Well, where was the vehicle being stored?
In a garage, right, like 100 or 200 feet from a lake. All the houses are surrounding a lake, and the home had been deteriorating and falling apart. A lot of like musty smell inside, a lot of like rodents and stuff around the house because of the environment that they live in. There's a lot of stuff to feed on, a lot of places to hide where the rodents.
So the house was vacant.
The house has been vacant, and it's probably going to need. He was saying probably $40,000-$50,000 worth of work.
Damn.
So the house is going to go for pretty cheap, right on this lake in this really fancy or higher end, neighborhood.
Shit, man,
And
grab the house too.
well, that's what he's thinking. He's thinking that now the house is ready to go on the market now as well, because the car isn't there, and that's one of the main things that was holding them up. They don't have nowhere to put it.
So I mean, dude, if it's been inside of a garage, I bet that oil's still good.
I bet you it is too. And I was just thinking about that. I was like, I bet you if I send this off, it's going to have a TBN rating of like 5.0 or something like that, to say there's still several thousand miles left on this oil.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this could give us a good indication. This could be like a prime thing when we talk about TBN and shelf life and stuff like that, and oil can eventually go bad. Well, let's see what this generic dealership oil change has 4 years later with almost no runtime on it.
Very interesting.
I'd be
Very,
curious.
very interesting.
Yeah, I'd be very curious to see what they say, because usually you're like, change it every year if it's going to be sitting. If you're pulling it out, it's been sitting like that for 4 years, and that's crystal clear. I mean, not crystal clear, but still gold. Like,
yeah,
that. Well, it hasn't been exposed to the hydrocarbons of the fuel.
Nothing. I mean, that thing. The oil doesn't smell like fuel at all. And I pulled the cap off, and I'm watching the engine run inside, and I'm watching the oil flow around the camshaft and stuff. I'm like, my God, man, this thing is like brand new. It doesn't make any noises. It doesn't make any crazy sounds. The manifold studs and everything look like they're pretty much brand new, with just a light coating of powdery surface rust, like the stuff that you could literally take an air gun and probably blow the powder right off of it and spray some like fluid film on it, and it would disappear. And the engine is like, everything looks brand new. There's some little spots where we are in the rust belt, so there's some little spots that they do need a coating of fluid film underneath, like at the pinch weld where like the
Wow.
very corner of it is starting to rust.
That's clean, man.
The frame is all still coated with the factory undercoating and stuff that the frame was painted from the factory with. And yeah, it's a nice ride. It's a very, very nice ride, and it drove very, very good. You can feel the flat spots in the Yokohama tires as
Oh,
you were
can you?
driving. Yeah, the more you drove, the smoother it got. But you know, I don't know whether or not I would chance it. I mean, they are some pretty decent tires. I looked up the tires today, and they're about $135 a piece. They're, you know, not super expensive tires or whatever, but they're decent tires. And then I asked our guy at work, I was like, what could you get me a set of really nice Michelin all season tires for, something really comfortable with a really nice mile? And he said, I don't know, man. We got our supplier says they got a higher end set of Michelins right now for that car. It's 152 to the customer, but to you, I could probably get them for about 122 a piece. And they are the top of the line Michelin that are all season. I'm like, oh man, do I pull the trigger on this right now? And then I have 3 sets of tires, but they're for a Lincoln Town Car. They're not the same size that were on the Mercury Grand Marquis. So a lot of people are saying, why don't you just take your 16 Mustang GT rims and throw it on that Mercury Grand Marquis, because it's the same bolt pattern. They fit right in the wheel well, and it would look much better on the Mercury Grand Marquis than the Town Car. And they're brand new tires. They're the Tiger Paws that they used to run on the P71 cop cars.
Keep it stock. Put some fancy tires on it and just roll around in it.
That's what I'm thinking. There's nothing wrong with the car the way it is. It's absolutely just, I think I'm going to spend some time this weekend really, really detailing it very, very deep and get into the leather and stuff and treat it very, very, very well. And then I got some MOA today and some EPR. I got a brand new set of Motorcraft wiper blades for it, a Motorcraft filter for it, a Motorcraft oil filter for it, and I got all the Motorcraft oil for it. And I had them order me the Motorcraft battery to go in it, so everything on the car is all Motorcraft.
Nice.
And then I got a new serpentine belt coming, but we didn't have it in stock, so they said it will be here tomorrow. It was only $32 because, you know, employee discount or whatever.
Man.
So I got everything that I needed to get it rolling for now. I thought maybe my first run, I might run some like some really nice, really clean full synthetic from like Redline. That's like a tier 4 or grade 4 base. And just to get it. DS. Have you guys seen this? I'm done talking about the Grand Marquis. Thanks for giving me the floor on that one. But,
I like when we find those things. So.
Oh, I love them, man. And
I
they're
can
out
feel
there
you.
too. They're out there. But have you seen this? This is
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze.
This is called
Duro-Dress
Tire Kit, and this kit has. Do we have another? Does this light turn on? This kit comes with, and it's not cheap. This tire kit is about $60 for this one little kit. And I seen an advertisement for it, and then I seen other people said they tried it, and I was like, wait a second, this has got to be snake oil. There's no way that you're going to be able to put something on the tire and it not sling off and it be water resistant and everything else.
Wow.
Well, the more I started looking into this, the more I started to realize this stuff seems like it's legit. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the money back in the ad revenue anyway. If I do a review on it, why not just buy it? I'm not losing
Check it out.
anything.
Right.
And it says included in this kit, latex, rubber, natural gloves, scrub brush, Dura Cleaner heavy duty tire cleaner and degreaser, foam and or microfiber applicators, and Dura dressing permanent tire dressing.
Permanent?
Oh,
Everything that you need for the tire comes in this kit.
Wow.
It's supposed to treat the rubber and bond to it and not get hard and not
to
degrade
make
the
it look
rubber.
like you shined the tire.
Yeah, it's like a permanent
No
shine that
kidding.
they say instead of lasting for like a week and then it's gone. Like this stuff lasts for weeks upon weeks before it's gone. So I don't know.
Nice.
I wanted to. You know, I said let me snag this thing up and maybe I'll slap this on the Grand Marquis and see how it does. I'm gonna get rid of the rubber anyway.
I mean,
Honestly, dude, I'm on my computer. I want to go look at this car if it's possible because I didn't see it. I have no clue what it looks like.
I mean,
What are
we
you
can
doing?
work on it.
Is it on your YouTube?
oh yeah, the Grand Marquis.
Yeah.
The Grand Marquis.
Is it called Grand Marquis? I thought it was called Grand Marquis.
It is. I was.
Oh.
Don't worry
This is
about it.
I never know, man. I never know, man. I'm so
That's Aaron for you, man.
My DS is messing around. On to the next subject.
So my shorts. I had a really just a real headache with a vehicle I've been working on. So I get a 22 E450 U-Haul, got 31 miles on it, right, guys? Brand new. Like, what's wrong with this? And it's got a customer complaint that says that the rear lighting on the vehicle doesn't work. Pull in the shop. You know I like lights, right? Turn all the lights on. Check it out. See, look up past. Look at these little lights flick on. Bink, bink. Show the service advisor through the window, like, hey man, look at these lights, and I'm like, WTF? He calls them back, and they indicate to him, oh, it's the left-hand turn signal on the 7-pin. I'm like, oh, gee. I guess that would have been helpful in the beginning. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. So I wound up verifying the concern and found the left-hand turn signal was not operating on the 7-pin. I mean, I gotta talk about this. Look at how clean that fucker is, man. Look at them headlights.
Yeah.
Everything's clean. I was wondering if the headlights if they were gonna be cloudy or not.
Are you
No,
looking
no,
at it?
they're all
Okay,
clear.
yeah. Dude, I like this car, man.
Yeah, it's got the side markers on this. It has the upgraded
Oh,
fog
yeah.
lights down
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Dude, it's a time
Everything.
machine. It's a time
Everything
machine.
works.
Wow. Keypad on the door.
Yeah,
Oh,
keep
yeah.
that on the door. But I'm having a problem with that battery holding a charge that's in it. I'm gonna have to get rid of it and put a new battery in. It's too
Oh, yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Some full
Dang,
synthetic.
look at that.
Some full
Plastics,
synthetic being nice. In
all
there,
the
man.
lights powering up.
So
Oh,
are you
it's
gonna get those
flickering.
little dings fixed? Like there's like a slight ding by like the rear wheel well.
What's that?
Very on the left side, there's a very small ding by the wheel well on the rear of the car. Very small little ding. Like how perfect are you gonna make it?
Where? You talking about right
Left-
here?
Yeah, left rear. Very
there.
small, very minor. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're gonna go
nice of you
through
to
it and
point
get
that
every
out.
little.
Nice of you to point that out there.
No, I'm just
DS.
wondering.
Thanks,
No, because
DS.
it's such a low mileage car. I'm wondering if you're gonna make it kind of like it just drove off the dealer lot.
DS fucks.
Didn't you say you got scabies or something?
Yeah, freaking scabies.
Yeah, look at that.
I like it, man.
Yeah, yeah. Butter me up.
Are you gonna turn it into a Marauder? I think you should turn it into a
No.
Marauder.
I'm
Get
not.
some-
I'm definitely.
Get some
I'm not one of those
labels
guys.
and some dual exhaust.
I'm not one of. I mean, I don't mind the dual exhaust and stuff, but I'm not one of those guys that like to take something and make it seem like it's something that it's not.
Right, you're not a
don't
perpetrator.
I'm not against those guys that do that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not that guy.
It's just too hard. It's too much work. It's not worth it. You know, it's just way too much work. Would you drive a Marauder?
Yeah. So
Let's say you found one. Be a hard find in like mint condition.
Ooh, I'd want a blue one.
A blue one?
That like gunmetal blue
I like
one.
I like the black ones.
The black ones for me too. Oh,
Oh.
so this is your screen for boss. Okay. Because I got it on this TV or this computer and then on my phone.
Fred
like everywhere.
Talion asked where the handicap plate's at, Rich.
Are you gonna tint all the windows, man? I would imagine so.
Did you guys happen to see SNS's video about their disaster prevention kit? Did you guys happen to see that?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was.
I know 8,000 people did.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. For all of the people who, I don't want to say non-believers, but the people who don't want to open their eyes to something that is very important for the vehicle, or let alone their 6.7. Look at them lights, bright. I invite you to check out the video we did on Saturday, or SNS's video, where they purposely destroyed a CP4 with their filter on it, and now they're actually going to be purposely destroying a truck that they're going to drive their race trailer, tow their race trailer with, to Ultimate Callout Challenge here coming up in just a little bit. And it's going to be exciting to see what is going to happen while they're pulling it, and how they're actually taking the piston out of the CP4 and turning it 90 degrees so that there is no roller to roller. It is straight going to be metal to metal, and it's going to be metalling its way there and metalling its way back. It's going to be interesting to see. And for those, there's a couple of comments in the video. Guys were saying, having a hard time finding those filters for the Gen 1 kit. I'm sorry, the 2.0 kit. But finding them at Accurate Diesel, where I've been sending all you guys to get the DPK kit, he's got them in full supply and can get you guys taken care of. So make sure to check out Accurate Diesel.
I had a squad car come in today. Well, not today, yesterday. But today I did the work. This is the first time I had a new squad car where both CV axles took a crap and the hub actuator seal all at the same time. So you're talking about with our state adjust and the time. I mean, this was like an 11 or 12 hour ticket. Loved it.
Dang, boy.
Yeah, it was nice. It was, but I've never had a squad car come in. 10,000 miles ago, we did the hub actuator seal. It's already leaking. I have the video preloaded because I'm about to be out of the country. So I've uploaded for like the next week. So I'm set up for when I'm gone. And when you take the seal off of this hub actuator and I went to go feel my fingers around it, all of a sudden I started hearing crack, crack, crack. And all I'm doing is just rubbing the seal. And I got to a section that was about a third of the O-ring where it was completely degraded and it had broke down, and it was so hard. And as I was running my finger across it, as the pressure from my fingers just barely touching it, it was cracking the O-ring as I was touching it. And then when you took it off and looked at it, you could see crack, 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 crack all down it. And when I just went like this with my two fingers in the video, that was enough to snap the O-ring in two. And then you look at the center of it and it looks like dry powder. The O-ring had completely degraded in 10,000 miles that they're having us put on these hub actuators.
Damn.
I got
Bad parts, man.
And it's not even an updated number. It's still the same AA. What do they call it? The suffix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same one. It hasn't even been changed. And they keep giving us the same one. I would think that they would be like, well, let's upgrade this to something better. So we're not putting the same thing back in the vehicle, and every 10 to 15,000 miles, it's back in leaking again.
I'm having that same problem with a 22 U-Haul. I have went through 3 battery junction boxes trying to get a correct one. The customer's complaint, the left turn signal doesn't work at the 7-pin. I go up to the front of the vehicle, start my diagnosis, and notice that I hear this bzzz coming from the battery junction box. I'm like, well, I don't care what is going on with this vehicle. That is not right. I'm going to get a battery junction box. Order a battery junction box. Immediately go to the back. I open the door, turn the thing on, turn signal, go back, boom, working. I pull my thing out, the receptacle tester, and I notice that my running lights for the whole box and the cab lights aren't working. And I'm like, man, what the heck is going on? So I spend, time going through trying to figure out, maybe I screwed something up, something's not connected, and I led to I'm going to have to replace the battery junction box, because the battery junction box supplies power to some fuses. Well, I go through another one, nothing. Go through another one, nothing, man. 3 battery junction box, and they're all the same thing. I'm looking at you're speaking of engineering numbers and the parts, suffix and prefix. The one that I have in the vehicle from the factory is not the same engineering number as the ones that I'm continuing to get. The one in the vehicle is a UC. All of the other ones are BDs. Go to HBOM, go to the catalog. They all say I should have a BD. So I don't know what made me think. I've gone through back and forth. I know the lights work and the circuits are fine. So I hooked up the old box. I'm looking at the lights, and I start pulling fuses that this box doesn't have. Now I'm looking at the box that it says I should have, and I'm looking at the wiring diagram, and it's like not used, not used, not used, not used. And I look at my original box, and I'm looking at the not used spots, and I'm like, not used, there's a fuse in here, there's a fuse in here, not used, not used, not used, not, oh, what the fuck is going on? I wouldn't, when we go into the EVTM and we're looking at stuff and we see a fuse spot that's saying not used, they're not using it. Dude, I pulled those fuses out that my box has, that box does not. Boom, there go my box running lights, and there go my cab clearance lights. Wait a minute. Okay, so now I'm thinking the box, cab lights, there's nothing in the wiring diagram that says this vehicle comes equipped with cab lights. I'm like, okay, maybe they added a fuse in, right? Maybe that's what they did. No, this battery junction box has electrical connectors that clip to the bottom side of it. So they would have had to put a fuse in, added a pin to the connector, and then run. No, ain't happen. There's no way that a U-Haul company, no, ain't happen. This is completely stock. There's unaltered, nothing, nobody's cut, nothing, no splice, nothing. I look at the back of this battery junction box and the back of this battery junction box. I have pins coming out of my original one, where the one that it says I should have, the BD, I have all blanks where I have fuse. So what the fuck's going on? So now I've wasted a good amount of time questioning my ability. It can't be a bad box out the box. Are you serious? Give me another one. Put it in, same thing. Well, when I first made contact with this vehicle, the RO says a 2022 E450. 7.3. I hook up IDS, it identifies it as a 23 E450. The VIN is an NED. It's a 2022. I'm like, man, that's kind of weird. When I first went into the wiring diagram, copy and pasted the VIN from IDS, put it right into Oasis, boom, EVTM, go to the trailer, all of my wires are red. They're all the same color. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? But each circuit is telling me, I'm looking at the side, it's brown with blue, yellow with red, but all of the wires, they're all red in the picture. I'm like, man, this is messed up. I go to 21, boom. There we go. Go to 23, boom. Not bad. Okay. So I'm like, well, which one do I use? 21, 22, or 23? Well, the customer access is what I'm having problem with. That's what Ford leaves on all of these Super Duties and Econolines and fleet vehicles. They leave customer access wires for everything so that upfitter companies can hook up, boom, to running lights and this and this and that, whatever. So I go to the back of the vehicle where U-Haul hooks up to it, and I should have an 8-pin connector, which is what I have down here. I go to 22, and it says I have a 16-pin connector. What the hell? Go to 21, boom, I got an 8-pin. I go to 23, I got an 8-pin. So hold on. All right, what's wrong? Is the part wrong? Is the wiring diagram wrong? Or is the catalog wrong? Because something's not right. I'm not getting the right part. And it's taken me 3 parts to realize that the fuses that they're saying is not used, I'm actually using.
Are you reading the diagram for U-Haul? Because usually there's a different U-Haul diagram.
I mean, there's only
one.
There's only 3 pages in there. I don't know. Pretty weird.
I know those are built specially for U-Haul. So with working at Roush, we know U-Haul gets what the U-Haul wants because they order so much.
Hey, I want to run something by you guys.
I'm listening.
I've been having a little bit of a little weird situation where I parked my dump trailer. Someone's been like, the company, they aren't really enforcing the parking like they're supposed to. Someone's always taking my spot, and then I got to go park on the other side. And also, there's some other issues there, which I don't even want to open that can of worms. But I've been thinking kind of like about getting a spot on my own. But I don't really have, like right now, I'm getting away without it. I'm getting away without that expense. I got my dump trailer parked. The price went up to $150 a month this year from $100 a month. That's a little bit of an expense, but as far as like my business in my house, dude, I'm always hiring people. They're coming here. None of them full time. Like I'm super busy. And just the hiring's been a problem. Like I said, the guy brought scabies here. Now I'm freaking got scabies. I gotta leave soon to go freaking take a chemical bath just to make sure they all died. What would be like a realistic thought process? Like if I get a shop, I don't want to just have just my landscaping business by itself. I would be interested in having like a partner or someone that works with me, not necessarily works for me, but a guy who would say we have a vehicle hoist, say we have whatever, preferably Fords that we work on mainly, but I would be interested in having like a full-time mechanic. There's 3 mechanics here. What do you guys think about having a nice shop, big bay door?
Yeah.
Nice lift. I'll buy the lift. I'll provide the space, but to help pay for all of it, let's run the shop too. That would be my thought. What do you think?
Freaking A, hell yeah.
Well, obviously it'd be hard to find somebody. I don't think finding clientele would be a problem, especially in today's market with, new vehicles being harder to get, social media marketing, stuff like that. I don't think finding clientele. I think the big thing is like getting into all the nooks and crannies of the tires and the wheel balancing and the wheel alignments it's almost kind of like what you were saying, how you were saying last week, you brought up the mobile mechanic thing. And it's like, yeah, you be specializing in certain things. It's a mechanic shop has so many cans of worms. to run the full show. It's a big, that's a
Mhm.
big operation.
It's a lot of risk.
Yeah, it's a lot of risk. I mean, you
It's
kind
a
of,
lot of risk.
I'd be going through a freaking mechanic every week.
It's not for the faint of heart. Obviously, it's it could be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but I'm so exhausted with parking my stuff places. Like I pull up, someone every time I move my trailer, someone jumps in my spot. Every single time I move it, they park in my spot, and then I gotta talk to the owner. He's like, "Oh, they'll move." But now a freaking semi just parked there. I'm like, "Heck, man."
I'm
So
gonna tell that somebody to move. I don't think so.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I gotta talk to them. I don't know what their deal is up there.
Um, why don't we do our weekly our weekly fuel check? Right now, I am at as long as he can cut hair. Hell yeah, we can cut hair, man. I want to open up a shop where you can come get a fresh fade, beard trim, head shave, and get fuel filters, S&S, kill switch, S&Bs for scans. I mean, it's a one-stop shop. Look at Ford Boss Me. He's got a great canvas right atop. Come on. What? No. Yes, we would love a big pole barn. That would be awesome. Lifetime foreskin, good question. U-Haul, a unique VIN. That's what I thought the catalog would have been saying, but they did not. Gas fuel check-in right now, I think we're at 539. I think I just saw it. What do we got here? South Florida holding 569, 539 ATL. Yep, 539, Brian. James, yes. I have double XL in red.
It went up 60 cents overnight for me. I woke up this morning and it was
Wow.
it went up 66 cents. It was $4.99. The diesel moved down to $4.99 and gas went up to $5.65 at the local Shell station here. So diesel went down 60 cents and gas went up like 66 cents overnight.
New Hampshire, 619. Plymouth, Massachusetts, 640. I don't know what Cali's doing.
Did you see that? Did you guys, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the full thing here because I don't want us to get in trouble for talking about it, but did you see that? I would encourage people on here that are watching to, when you get off of here, Google Flying J pilot CEO fuel prices court case and watch it.
I think I
I saw a
it.
little
Did you
bit
send
of
me a
that.
link?
Yeah, watch that.
Yep.
And you learn a little bit from the man himself of what's going on.
Wow. Yeah, I briefly saw that.
Very shocking.
I'm gonna check that out, but I'm about to go hit the set, guys. Thanks for
All right,
having me.
DS. Peace out, man.
Thanks for listening to me vent.
See you. Glad you're okay.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Thank you. See you next time.
Later.
See you.
Montgomery, Alabama, 525. Austin, Texas, 509. Daddy Diesel, 560. Ohio. Oh, I like those tow hooks. Ooh, I like those tow hooks. Yeah, trying to get us to buy electric. Yeah, I don't think so.
One of the guys came back from Ford training. He's one of the guys that's been in the field for a while. He's been in like 35 years. And when he got back from his advanced electrical training, one of the instructors was breaking down how the EV stuff works. And he said, if you took a neighborhood of 300 people and you took 10 families in that neighborhood and just say all of them had Mach-E's, that neighborhood would not be able to sustain keeping the electric up and those vehicles charged within that neighborhood without the grid going down in that area. We don't have the infrastructure to even support that yet in that type of regular sized neighborhood. It's just not there.
That's going to be a rude awakening for a lot of people. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah.
Just gonna let it watch unfold, I guess. Not much else to do. Limitless just sent me something here. I'm looking at. He does some great work. I'll tell you what, you guys. Dualies, we got supersized, a number 5 supersized because she's a dually. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome, guys. I don't even. This shit's addicting.
You remember the guy I was telling you about that works at the dealership? He's a lube tech, but he's going through Ford training right now. He went through so much of his UTI stuff that he's done with all his basic stuff. Now they've moved him over into strictly the Ford FACT program. So now he's in the FACT program, learning all the Ford stuff every day. And he wanted to dedicate himself to learning as much about the Ford stuff. He's taking it very, very, very serious. So he told our service manager, like, look, I understand you want me to be here 5 days a week, but I can't sustain that. I really want to focus on my factory Ford training and get as much as I can out of this. So at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I have to solely focus on school and studying and everything else. Well, now he wants to trade in the 6.0 he just bought, and he wants to go to a 6.4 that's completely studded in everything. So he's like, I think that's the route I want to go. And I was trying to talk him out of it at first, but I don't know how. I've never actually dealt with a 6.4 that's been completely taken care of in that aspect. Are they bulletproof? I mean, once you get to that point to where you really don't have to worry about a lot of the problems that you normally would with a 6.4.
They're disposable. If anybody owns a 6.4, they're disposable. You just get rid of it.
Between 120 and 180K camshafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where he's at right now, because they're asking this one taken care of completely from the typical things that you would think of, and the previous owner upgrading a lot. And he went to a 6.7, like a 15 model, taken care of very well. And he's thinking that he wants to come out of the 6.0 for that. And I was like, why? I mean, you just put new injectors in the 6.0, all the leaks and stuff are taken care of. It's got I think the 6.0 has 150 horse program on it, and it runs absolutely phenomenal. So you wouldn't do the 6.4?
I wouldn't. And there's hold on.
And it's right at, I think, to go back to what Cody said, it's right at 115 or 120. It's right at it is where the guy traded in a
run. A lot of things. I've seen a lot of 6.4s come in cobbled together. Either people don't know what they're working on, or they try doing it themselves. It seems like the more and more, whether it's 6.4 or 6.7, like even at like this 3-liter that I just got in today, came from another dealership. This truck was repaired at a Ford dealership out of state, and they let this vehicle leave with the active grill shutter, bro, like this, broken still. The customer had to bungee cord it to make it back, try to make it back after he overheated because the upper hose came off because they didn't attach one of the connecting hose clamps to the quick disconnect. So, you know, when, you know, like your buddy says he's going to go from the 6.0 to the 6.4, whether you're going from one to the other on whatever it is, you know, you have to take into another aspect of what you're getting into. Is this thing been hacked? Ford boss just gets this barn fine car. This isn't something he's going to have to worry about. But you
Right.
get something like this, you know, you need to start looking, did things come apart? Now it's been this and this and this. So it's been bulletproof. Did they even know what they were doing? Was it half-assed together? It just opens up a large can of worms for somebody in a repair bill that, you know, oh, hey, I just bought this truck. Well, I didn't know I was going to have to be dumping 10 grand. Well, you didn't know what you were getting into. And
I've done a lot of motors like that where I
Hmm.
can name 5 of them where they came in with camshaft failures. Or they came in for an oil change after they just bought it. And now they're putting $20,000 motor in it.
Yeah.
And the Ford Reman motors aren't much better because cylinder walls flake off them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not worth it. It's worth just going up to the 6.7 and biting the bullet.
Absolutely. I have done one personal for a personal friend of mine. And I would say at least 3 at work where it was a 6.4 complete engine assembly, turbo. I mean, complete. The whole thing was black, beautiful looking, 20 grand. Parts, labor, 20 grand. 20 grand. What do you want to do? You have an engine that's got 200,000 miles on it. You're pushing coolant through the degas bottle. It's oil leaking like a kazoo. And you want to know what the best avenue that you're going to do. You know, you're going to take the cab off. You're going to have all this labor with the engine broke down. You want me to pull the engine out, reseal it. Mind you, this is 6.4. Take the heads off, do studs, fix whatever you got. Now I'm going to have to take the turbos off to do all this. So there's a risk with the turbo. It's like it would be more beneficial for you to get a warranty with this I don't know, I want to say FQR powertrain assembly and have new turbo, new heads. You can get 6.0s and 6.4s with studs or regular bolts. It's $1,000 difference. But you're going to be having a 2-year unlimited mileage warranty with anything that goes wrong with oil leaks, anything that comes on this engine, sensors, lines, you name it. It's going to be covered under that service plan. But what do you get? You ready to spend 20 grand on a truck that you just spent 10 grand on?
No.
Exactly.
You're better off putting Cummins in it. I mean, Wesley Chaplin did the right thing on that motor.
Yeah.
Get rid of the 6.4. Get rid of the 6.4. Put
That's
the
the first-
5.9 in there.
That's the
It'll be
first
fine.
person I think of. Yep.
Now let's talk about this 3-liter you started to allude to.
Yeah, this 3-liter. This is a buddy of mine, buddy Cody's. We got some things that we're going to be trying to do. We got some 3.0 content. A lot of guys have been wondering, what's the do you really have to use the not Ford, but do you have to use the F-150 3.0 liter diesel 530 engine oil, or can you just slap regular 1030 in there? Can you put 1540 in there, or do you got to use the Ford 530? I want to talk about oil change. I want to talk about fuel filters. I know he wants to do a couple of upgrades from a very respected company that we've had on the channel. They make some great products. But right now we need to take care of this debacle that we have to piece back together from another dealership to get the vehicle in a drivable state, because that's not going to work with the way it is.
I've been going through such a hard time understanding why dealerships and independent shops let vehicles go like they do. I mean, it's one of the most major stresses in my daily environment and what I get. that comes to the dealership. And there's eventually going to be a full-blown God's to honest 100% video that I put out where I just completely lay it on the line when it comes to what I deal with on a daily basis. And people do not understand how many jobs the good, honest techs end up getting from other independent shops and dealerships where this stuff is just hacked together. And it makes me sick.
It's bad.
Well, what makes me sick about this one, this truck, he had it for 15 days, hit a deer. He put 3,000 miles on it, and that was in December. So he bought it in the beginning of December, hit a deer 15 days later. Truck sat at the dealer waiting on parts, and the dealer get around to doing it for 6 months. And it comes out like this.
That is I wish we had a network of how we could honestly talk or report these things and not get in trouble. I hate throwing people under the bus, and I refuse to do it. But when it comes down to something like that, I almost feel like people need to know that this is the type of work that's being done.
Like, I mean, I pulled up the connected vehicle data, and I was looking at the date ranges. And before he even picked it up, they knew it had a check engine light. I mean, they cleared it. The connected vehicle data.
We know.
We can see all that, and people don't realize that.
Yep. I'm like, why are they giving this back with this air dam? And I sent him a message. I said, there's something wrong with your truck.
How do you know that?
I mean, he
Because
knew
I'm
it.
looking at it.
I mean, he knew it because it came up on Ford Pass, but he didn't know what it was.
You know, and some of the other write-ups and stuff, whenever I receive vehicles that end up in a different area and they end up in my shop, and I go into, like you guys are talking about, previous history and stuff, and I can literally see the last pinpoint test that was run to justify why you did this repair. And when I'm going through the pinpoint test to verify that the previous tech actually did the work correctly, I get through halfway and I'm like, wait a second, why are you answering yes to this? That doesn't even make any sense, because that's not even the repair you performed. And if you would have said no, you would have went this way, which would have been the proper repair, and you didn't even perform that repair. I can literally follow along with what the tech was doing and what type of repair it was. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, man, what am I getting myself into?
They put 2 new batteries in. Unreal.
I have one right now that came from 2 independent shops, and $3,800 later, they could not figure out that they put a bad new fuel pump in it, and it literally took me 45 minutes. I have a video that I uploaded today, not to bash other technicians, but this is simple stuff. This is simple stuff that every one of us should know how to do. And it seems like the simplest things people drop the ball on and cause the most stress in other people's lives because they're just not paying attention to what they're doing.
I think it comes down to they're just not caring either, and it's just going. You're just going to work just because you're just going for the paycheck, and it's got to be more than just a paycheck. You know what I mean? Especially with this type of work and how involved and in depth we are with these things. It's not. I don't know how to explain it to you. You can't just go in and. This isn't changing oil.
This is somebody else's money. This is somebody else's livelihood. This is somebody else's money. This is somebody else's vehicle that they use to get to work every single day, that they provide for their damn family. And they're relying on us to do it right the first time, so they don't have to come back and see us over and over again and us waste their time and their money. And I don't think people really care about that.
No.
I mean, I would expect the truck. I mean, if you had a new truck that was 15 days old, I would expect it to come out looking darn near the way it did before it got hit.
Yeah.
That would be my expectation of the dealer. But,
yeah, we got the owner on here now.
Like fixing electrical wiring.
It's a real this gentleman just gets his truck fixed, hasn't had it for 6 months, got 3,800 miles on it, and you know what I see when I pop the hood is white body shop dust fucking everywhere. Firewall, the beauty cover all over the engine, the brand new piece of plastic for the air snorkel duct. Everything else just that. You mean to tell me they couldn't have even prepped the vehicle or at least washed down the engine so that when this customer, I finally get my truck back 6 months of, what the hell is this? That's not how it came. Like,
Yeah. Every vehicle that I finish any type of major repair on, I always stop before I go out the door and I think to myself, I want the customer to open this hood and I want them to see this and be like, wow, they did an awesome job. Without even driving it and getting full into it, wow, this makes me feel better that somebody actually cared about my vehicle and cleaned it off and made sure it was taken care of. Every stop right before I go out the door, degreased, pressure wash, dried off, make sure all the connections and stuff are clean and there's no water sitting on critical components and stuff like that. And it looks brand new when it rolls out the door, because I cannot stand, my morals and my peace of mind is much, much higher than I guess most other people, because obviously we're still seeing, and it's going to get worse. People just don't care.
you know, you'll have to take this with a grain of salt. If a vehicle comes in, just as Ford Boss and I are talking about, and this thing's a work truck, and it's beat the fuck, and you see, remember my shorts? It's got salt everywhere, all on the door. I mean, thing is blue back. There's nothing that I'm gonna do as a repairing technician. There is nothing that Ford Boss is going to do as a repairing technician to clean anything else other than what he fixed and return it back to the customer. Okay, that's it. Now, if you got King Ranch, Platy customer, a nice trimmed out truck, not, you got the work trucks, you got to be nice to them too, but these trucks, these you're going to have to spend a little more, make sure, if you're doing oily work and you're wearing long sleeves, because this is what I do. I have to be cognitive of it. If I'm going to be in this dude's armrest or doing interior work, I'm going to roll my dirty ass sleeves up so I'm not oil staining the trans juice that I just soaked up in my sleeve. Or when you get done taking your gloves off, right? Your hands are all hot and steamy. And I go to shut the hood. Boom, you pull the hood down. Now I got 4 little bear paw prints. I don't want that shit on my truck.
No.
These, you get more fluent when working around a vehicle in touching and working on the interior. You work on the interior, you clean all your tools, you clean yourself, and then you get in the truck and work, especially these ones with these suede headliners. Oh my gosh, dude, you're not just gonna get glass cleaner foaming up on a paper towel and blot and get like, this is gonna be a pain in the ass. Just don't get it dirty. It didn't come in like that. Don't be grabbing and hugging everything. No. I don't know if you guys put steering wheel covers on, or if you guys put the floor mats or the seat covers, but always adjust the customer's mirrors, seat, and radio. That is one thing I do not touch, is all 3 of those things. Radio's on when I get it. The radio goes off when I get in. I don't touch the customer's radio other than doing work because of a concern with an APIM or something, had to whatever. But no, I don't mess with any of that stuff. I think when you guys come into the dealer, like, oh man, oh, what are they going to touch? Are they going to be looking through my stuff? I got to lock everything. Oh man. I feel the anxiety. I hear you guys talk about it. I see it. I don't want you guys to feel like that, especially when you're going to be dealing with me on a personal level. If you're coming into my store or you're coming to Ford Boss's store, but you know, I can't take that feeling away from you when you're going to Johnny Dinglenut's shop and he's gonna not do satisfactory work. I get it. You should be feeling like that. But it's those things that, you know, we, Ford Boss and I and Cody, you know, we try to get that stigma away from the dealer. We're not hacks. We are professionals at this particular craft, especially the ones with the blue oval. And that's why we were here tonight, helping you guys with correct information. We obviously know you guys appreciate it. All 100 of you guys come by every Wednesday, get excited to hear what we're going to talk about, get any tidbits. We like to update you on the latest recalls, important information. We don't want you guys traveling on the Facebook groups and getting non-hearsay information. You want the truth. You want real info. You get a hold of FBM, you get a hold of CP, you get a hold of me, and we're gonna set you guys straight. We're gonna get you guys, get those 6.7s, get the super duties. Maybe the channel should be Super Duty Tech Talk because I got to do the gas ones. It's the Super Duty line is my favorite. And with that, we'll sign out tonight. I appreciate you guys. You guys should own your own Ford repair shop. Ford Corporation should wake up and give you guys like independent license to service warranty on new vehicles. Dealerships are outdated.
Dude, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I mean, technically, we could do warranty work. They just have to we'd have to have the customer classified as emergency repairs.
That would be so awesome, man. I think to myself all the time, if I had my own little area where I could pull in brand new vehicles and stuff and fix things the way I see fixed within Ford's guidelines, I would be so much like clear-minded and taking care of the customer and making sure that it's done exactly the way it should be done, if not better. That'd be awesome.
We'll have little satellite stores that we can approve of around the country. We got one in Florida. We got one in Illinois. We got one in the Motor City. We need one on the East Coast. We need one on the West Coast. We got to get a network, everything, of approved, non-hackable technicians that are specified and certified in the Ford vehicles. And guys don't need to be driving across the United States to have me fix your vehicle, have Ford Boss me fix your vehicle. We love it. We want you to. But gosh, you shouldn't have to. But you can, because I want to work on your truck. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. See you Friday. We have some infestations. Hope you guys are going to be excited.